I have a set of seat belts, including all the fittings, from an S2, which were fitted with these inertia seat belts. My car's 1986, so it comes with fittings that would take the static 3-point harness seat belt, but I wanted to put in the inertia seat belts. I know that the S2 has a sort of seat belt box which takes the seat belt a bit like that, or takes this retractor in that orientation, and the carpet is different. But what I've done is I've taken the one, this is the right hand side of the car, I've taken the seat belt that's from the left hand side and I've twisted round the pillar connection, that one there, and I've twisted round the seatbelt clip. So the left hand side retractor will fit on the right hand side, because the way they're fitted in the Porsche S2, they're fitted like that, with this part facing inwards in a sort of a box arrangement. I want to have the seat belt this way round, and I'm going to fit it in that area there. There's a panel here, there's a hole there, so there's a strengthening panel there, and there's this panel here, a triangular piece of metal, and I'm going to make one that fits from here, down here, across to here, up here and down, and then I'm going to connect that retractor mechanism to that triangular piece of metal.
With regard to converting a left hand to a right hand and vice versa, inertia seatbelt, for me it was just a question of rotating these two pieces round on this webbing, which you can do. The easiest way I found was to start a twist on a length of webbing and then pull it down, and as you pull it down, that twist goes right the way through. There the other side.
I already have a lap belt fitted to the rear passenger side, and the connections are there, and here. And I shall remove those to put in the inertia 3-point seat belt. Some of the bolts that I received, two of the bolts that I received with the second-hand S2 rear seat belts were coloured, and I looked at my Porsche in the rear seats. This particular bolt on the tunnel is also coloured as compared to the bolt on the other side, so I am guessing, for whatever reason, the coloured bolts do go on the tunnel side. Just out of interest, bolt goes in at quite an angle to meet the fixed nut on the inside of the tunnel. The receiver has quite a large spacer. Doesn't appear to have any other washers. Well, not on the one I took out anyway. You can see how it's, whoever put it in, the hole was lower perhaps than it should have been, and it's had to force it up a bit here. So I looked at the other side and did a bit of guesswork and put my finger where it should go, remembering that it goes in at an angle, and then pushed a needle in, which does go down through that hole, and it feels as if it might be roughly in the right place. I melted the hole in and then started to feel it in with a few other bits and pieces, a file just to get the angle right, and then a bigger bolt just to see how it would be. The safety belt receiver has this spacer beneath, which measures out at 50mm. Again, I've just used a needle to find the location. That was fairly straightforward. Just keep pushing the needle in until you find it. So the arrangement I went for in the end, which is probably wrong, is that coloured bolt there on the tunnel. There's a spacer behind it, silver spacer. On this side I've gone for just a thick washer which came with the stuff, and a gold bolt, and I've gone for a gold spacer and a silver bolt. That's to get some sort of flexibility on the movement of these things. I dare say somebody will tell me what the correct configuration of these things are. Have a sheet of steel which is just over 4mm. That is the steel plate offered up. Lies flat against this lip here, down there. The retractor, when it's on, will be somewhere there, and the forces, if there is an accident, will be in this direction on the actual retractor itself. The bolt goes through the steel plate and then just screws through that small threaded portion, so not a great deal, and certainly the plate is much thicker than the seatbelt mounting plate. These bolt holes, or these holes, are for the trim retainers. So I'm going to drill separate holes just further inboard, there roughly, and there just before that weld. You can probably just see that the plate at the back there that's going to take the retractor mechanism is at a is at an angle. So when the mechanism goes on, effectively it's like that. In that position, the belt won't pull because of the slight angle. So it has to be more upright, and then the belt will pull. As soon as it gets to that angle, in order to get it to angle out, I need to insert a wedge. That will go there. So it's not like that, but like that. I'm going to take a template of that steel portion at the back and make a metal plate that has a wedge on it that will angle the retractor that way. Basically, with the car on the level, this needs to be upright and not like that. Having made sure the car was level, then made a wooden wedge just to establish the principle of it, and that thickness here is, having cut it a couple of times, is 18mm. Now it operates just fine. I'll now cut that wedge out of a steel. I'll probably also put a nut on there, because that's the only thing that's holding that retractor in place. I've used these Allen head screws, bolts, which are 10.9 tensile strength. So I've used those there, and down there, so 4 of them to hold this plate in place. And that's the final result. Still got a nut to put on. And when the cover comes across, that's all that really shows. Not as neat as the S2. If I was doing it again, would I do it? No, I think I'd put in the 3-point manual seat belts. Also, there's going to be a problem on this side because the retractor mechanism will have to go approximately where that light is.